Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Las Vegas Ranger, and today we're going to be doing a reaction video to a review of the Suzuki DRZ4S by Rocky Mountain ATV. If you'd like to help the channel out, please go to my Patreon page. I'll put the link down below for exclusive content and a monthly giveaway. All right, let's go to the video. They're going to be comparing the brand new 2025 Suzuki DRZ4S to the Suzuki DRZ400, which has been around for 25 plus years. All right, let's get to it.
Hey, what's up guys? Wes and Justin here from Rocky Mountain, and we've finally got our hands on the new DRZ4S. Now, the biggest question in I think all of our minds is, how does this thing stack up? Is it that much better than the original bike?
But for today, the big question is, how much better, if at all, is the new one than the old one that's been around for 25 years?
Yeah, I don't want to beat it up too bad. I mean, I think this is probably the talk of the industry right now with how controversial no sixth gear. It's pretty expensive compared to what the other options in the market are right now.
So those were some of the complaints before the bike even came out, when they announced the bike and they announced the price and they announced the specs, that the new DRZ4S was $9,000. I think a brand new DRZ400 was like $7,200. So almost $2,000 more. And then they didn't add a sixth gear. I guess a lot of old DRZ400 owners wanted a sixth gear and they didn't add it. But then you get a lot of past owners who say the fifth gear is fine. So I don't know. I've never owned one of these bikes, but those were like, you know, the major complaints before the bike even came out.
So
For the small bikes.
With all that taken into consideration, we really just wanted to get our hands on this, swing a leg over it, and give you our opinion. So,
just real quick, especially on this clip right here, they're doing a drag race between the two bikes. So keep an eye on the speedometer, and also keep an eye on the bottom right of the screen, because you can see the wheel of the DRZ400, and just watch how that DRZ400 keeps up with the newer bike.
okay guys, so here to...
You know, that was pretty impressive, because the DRZ4S, I think when they did a dyno on it, came in at 38 horsepower, and the dyno on the DRZ400 was about 31, 32 horsepower. But you can see how that DRZ400 just kept up with this newer bike with electronic fuel injection. I mean, it's really impressive. That bike has been around for 25 years. The bike is a tank. I haven't heard one complaint about the DRZ400, but I've also, you know, since the DRZ4S has been around, I haven't seen one complaint on social media or on YouTube about the bike, which is amazing.
give you my overall opinion of first riding this bike. So after first hopping on the bike, it immediately felt good. I felt like the ergos are all where they should be. The bike feels playful. The engine is surprisingly peppy, and it overall, like just swapping back and forth between this and the 2002, it feels faster and just more spunky. And that's something that I appreciate, because I like to ride and have a good time and twist the throttle when I'm on a motorcycle. So that stood out to me. Also, the other thing when we got off road is the suspension and chassis. This bike works, and I appreciate that, because I've got a big, you know, most people at Rocky have a dirt background, and I include myself in that group. And so we like to ride aggressive off-road stuff. And so having a bike that has suspension that comes on it, that's ready to go, ready to ride and hold up to some more aggressive off-road riding and not just blow through the travel immediately is a good thing. And really, with the price tag that this comes with, it should feel that way. It should be the cream of the crop as far as a dual sport bike goes. With that, it does help start to justify that price point for me a little bit. And
So if you didn't know, the DRZ4S comes with Showa suspension, which is a really good suspension and kind of pricey. So that justifies the $9,000 price tag.
think that for somebody that is looking for the best of the best as far as a dual sport bike goes, really 50-50 street and dirt, I think this is filling that hole. Suzuki, since they released this bike, has really had a category or a class, a part of the market. They've owned that part. And nowadays, other manufacturers are catching on to that. And there is some other competition in this category. But this bike, as far as being a complete total package, engine package and suspension chassis feel and performance, I think Suzuki is doing it right. Still, myself, I think that $9,000 MSRP is pretty steep. If I were actually in the market right now, I would be looking at some bigger bikes, I think, if I'm spending close to that 10K. So that's probably still a big hitch for me. The 5-speed is still a killer for this, but it is a bummer to see a brand new bike top to bottom and have them not give us that 6-speed. So that is still kind of a deal breaker for me, but overall had a really good time on this bike today, and I'm impressed.
So a lot of people who have owned DRZ400s in the past and who are currently brand new owners of the DRZ4S, there's no complaint about the 6th gear. There's no complaint about the 5th gear not being tall enough. A lot of the reports coming out are that the 5th gear is perfectly fine. If you wanted to adjust your, say you wanted a taller 5th gear, you could always buy a smaller tooth sprocket for the rear or a larger tooth sprocket for the front if it can handle it, if it has a space for it. If not, then you're just stuck with doing the rear sprocket. But if you come down 1 tooth or even 2 teeth on the sprocket, yeah, you might get better mileage and taller gearing.
Having spent a lot of time on DRZ 400s, owning a couple, putting thousands of miles on them, when this bike came out, I was pretty excited that Suzuki was going to finally update the bike. I was hoping they were going to give us some of the things we really wanted on the old one, like the 6-speed transmission. And when I found out they didn't have the 6-speed, the price was relatively high, it actually got a few pounds heavier, I was a little disappointed and I wasn't super excited to try it out anymore. After today though, after spending a few hours on it, it didn't take very long at all to realize that this bike is a lot of fun. It actually made my old bike feel kind of boring. The suspension is a lot better. That really surprised me. The forks on this thing are amazing. And that's one thing that I think people don't realize when they're looking at the price, how much good components in suspension cost. I mean, it's not cheap. So where this thing actually has rebound and compression adjustment on the fork and slow and high speed compression on the shock and rebound as well, they're just really good suspension components. And even though the old DRZ wasn't bad, it was actually pretty good, this thing's a lot better. The suspension's really good. And then the motor is just a lot more fun. And I think that just comes from the fuel injection versus the carbureted. I thought it was gonna be detuned a bit, be a little more friendly for emissions and all that kind of stuff, but this thing's a lot more fun to ride. It's a lot more peppy. You know, when we drag race them and rolling on the throttle, they don't seem a whole lot different, but riding it, the fun factor is just a lot higher on this. You have a bigger smile on your face when you're riding this thing. So,
okay guys, so real quick, taking a little bit closer look at the new bike. Our R&D team has been hard at work already, trying to bust products out for this and get products and options to market quick. So we've already got the skid plate covering up this engine here. And that's probably the first thing that you'd want to add to this bike when you first get it. Protect that motor. Make sure you're not going to have any catastrophic damage. The stock skid plate is pretty minimal, so that's a no-brainer. But I know our R&D team is hard at work on some other products as well.
All right, so there you go. Both love the bike. Both say it's fun. Both love the suspension. You know, it's up to you if you think it's worth the price. You know, I really don't think the 6th gear is that big of a deal, but the aftermarket parts are rolling out for this bike. As you heard, Rocky Mountain Research and Development is already they already have a skid plate for it. They're doing some racks, you know, some other things for the bike that they're coming out with. And also Yoshimura RS12 full exhaust system is already out for this bike. And they're claiming 5.5% horsepower increase just with the exhaust system. As far as ECU is concerned, I haven't seen or heard about an ECU out for the bike yet, or open air intake system. I haven't heard of that yet. And I have been researching. In fact, before I did a reaction on this video, I did research that and I couldn't find it. Hope you liked the video. I'm the Las Vegas Ranger. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.